What would you do if you were on the verge of jail, yet suddenly found yourself in a position to lead an entire country? This is the incredible story of Muhammad Yunus. How did this iconic figure, once teetering on the edge of legal disaster, rise to become a key player in shaping the future of Bangladesh? Join us as we dive deep into Yunus's life, uncovering the political landscape of Bangladesh, his tumultuous relationship with the government, and how he navigated legal battles that threatened his freedom, all while emerging as a figure of inspiration for change. You won't want to miss the twists and turns of this narrative, packed with insights and lessons that go beyond the headlines. The banker to the poor imagine, transforming lives and lifting people out of poverty, all through the power of small loans. This is the extraordinary legacy of Muhammad Yunus, the banker to the poor. Yunus's journey began in 1983 when he founded Grameen Bank to provide microloans to impoverished individuals, especially women. This innovative approach revolutionized microfinance and inspired global initiatives, helping millions start small businesses and improve their living conditions. Yunus believes access to credit is a fundamental human right, stating, "You have to build new institutions, new rules, and new procedures so that human right can be established." His efforts have resulted in nearly $40 billion in loans dispersed across over 100 countries. However, this success came with challenges. Despite gaining international acclaim, Yunus faced accusations from Sheikh Hasina's government, claiming he mismanaged funds and exploited the poor. Critics argue that the microfinance industry may overstate its role in alleviating poverty, raising questions about Grameen Bank's true impact on loan recipients. His relationship with Hasina soured after he declined an offer to lead the caretaker government in 2007, leading to investigations following the founding of his political party in 2011. Ultimately, he was removed as managing director of Grameen Bank amid allegations of regulatory violations. Yunus's story is a powerful reminder of how one man's vision can create a global movement, but it also highlights the complexities of navigating political landscapes while striving to make a difference. The shadows of imprisonment loom large over a man who once held the hopes of millions. Picture yourself on the brink of jail while the world expects you to lead. This was the reality for Yunus. Yunus's troubles began in 2023 when the Bangladeshi government initiated legal actions against him, primarily centered around allegations of misappropriation of funds. During his tenure as head of Grameen Bank, the government claimed that he had diverted resources meant for microfinance initiatives, asserting that Yunus had engaged in financial misconduct. Many observers interpreted these allegations as politically motivated, particularly given Yunus's global stature and the government's long-standing suspicion of him. The animosity between Yunus and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's administration is rooted in a complex political history. In 2007, Yunus briefly entered the political arena with the formation of the Grameen Party, but withdrew amid pressure from Hasina's government. His international acclaim only served to deepen this animosity, making him a symbol of resistance against governmental control. Yunus's legal troubles escalated in January 2024, when he was sentenced to 6 months in jail for allegedly violating labor laws. He faces about 200 additional charges, including graft and embezzlement, with the government accusing him of embezzling millions and improperly transferring funds from Grameen's telecom unit to personal accounts. If convicted on all counts, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Tensions rose when dozens of men associated with the government entered Yunus's non-profit offices on February 12, 2024, causing chaos and fear among his staff. While Grameen Bank officials denied any forceful occupation, the incident underscored the government's aggressive stance toward Yunus and raised concerns about the safety and autonomy of civil society organizations in Bangladesh. In a country where Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is accused of authoritarianism, Yunus faces charges of money laundering, forgery, and embezzlement, which the government claims are justified and insists the law must prevail. Despite the severity of the situation, Yunus remains optimistic, stating, "If I'm scared, you wouldn't necessarily know it," demonstrating his resilience. His supporters argue that the charges are unfounded and politically motivated, aimed at undermining his influence and discrediting his work. Instead of yielding to despair, Yunus's predicament sparked a surge of support from local and international communities, igniting a movement advocating for his freedom and underscoring the urgent need for political reform in Bangladesh. The political landscape imagine being a Nobel laureate and global champion for social justice, only to be targeted by a government intent on silencing dissent. In Bangladesh, the political climate is rife with deep rivalries and authoritarian governance. Under Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the government has consolidated power by targeting dissenters, including politicians, activists, and journalists, with threats and legal repercussions. Yunus's Nobel status put him directly in the crosshairs. As allegations against him grew, the Hasina administration sought to stifle his influence by restricting his public speaking and forum participation, undermining both him and the democratic ideals many Bangladeshis hold dear. In response, local activists and international organizations rallied around Yunus. 200 prominent figures, including celebrities and fellow Nobel laureates, voiced their concerns, framing his potential imprisonment as a violation of democratic principles. They called on Hasina to suspend all legal proceedings against him. Protests erupted, demanding justice for Yunus and shining a light on the broader struggle for civil rights in the country. Supporters like Silicon Valley venture capitalist Vinod Khosla emphasized Yunus's integrity and the need for a united front against governmental persecution. Kerry Kennedy, a human rights attorney and member of the Kennedy family, articulated the broader implications of Yunus's case. This isn't just about Yunus. This is about saying the government can come after anyone. His situation became a catalyst for political mobilization, reminding citizens of the importance of standing up for democratic rights and the need for accountability in governance. Yunus's ordeal is not just a personal battle. It serves as a rallying cry for democracy and civil liberties in Bangladesh, reminding us that the fight for justice affects us all. The turning tide, the political landscape of Bangladesh started to shift dramatically, and at the center of this turmoil is a familiar figure, Muhammad Yunus, a country on the brink of chaos, with its youth leading the charge for change, and one man poised to emerge as a leader against all odds. In July 2024, Bangladesh faced escalating political turmoil as student-led protests erupted in response to the government's job quota system, which favored specific groups, including descendants of those who fought in the 1971 war. Initially peaceful, the protests intensified, evolving into widespread calls for the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, after violent clashes resulted in approximately 1,000 deaths, including nearly 100 in a single day. Disturbing videos of police brutality fueled public outrage, creating a demand for broader governmental reforms. Amid this chaos, Yunus learned about the dramatic turn of events from afar. Previously embroiled in legal troubles and facing embezzlement charges, widely viewed as politically motivated, he was surprised to receive a call shortly after Hasina's departure. For many educated citizens, Yunus emerged as a beacon of hope. Respected as an economist and humanitarian, he was seen as a neutral leader, capable of restoring order. Students approached him, urging him to lead an interim government to address the unrest and prepare for future elections. It was a big surprise, Yunus recounted, reflecting on the sudden shift from potential imprisonment to national leadership. Initially hesitant about stepping into the role, Yunus was moved by the students' dedication, acknowledging the sacrifices made during the protests. "If you can give lives, I can remove all my other considerations," he resolved, accepting the position of chief advisor to the interim government. In this pivotal moment, Yunus's transformation from a target of political persecution to a symbol of hope illustrates the power of collective action and the unexpected paths to leadership in times of crisis. A new role in governance. A remarkable transformation emerges as Muhammad Yunus steps into a powerful new role in governance, signaling hope for a fractured nation. Imagine a leader rising from the depths of political turmoil, ready to steer a nation toward democracy and unity. After engaging in discussions with student leaders and various political factions, Yunus accepted the role of interim leader, motivated by a commitment to restore democracy and initiate meaningful change. On Wednesday, he was sworn in during a ceremony attended by key figures from multiple political groups, marking a significant shift in Bangladesh's leadership dynamics. His oath-taking was met with widespread jubilation among protesters and supporters who had long viewed him as a beacon of hope. Crowds gathered in the streets of Dhaka, celebrating his appointment and expressing optimism for a new chapter in the country's political landscape. The announcement of Yunus's interim leadership garnered an overwhelmingly positive response from the public, with many citizens seeing him as a unifying figure, capable of bridging the deep political divides that had characterized Prime Minister Hasina's tenure. Internationally, the reactions were equally encouraging, with leaders from around the globe, including former U.S. President Barack Obama, voicing their support for Yunus and emphasizing the necessity of a transparent and accountable government. Prominent organizations and Nobel laureates released statements urging the new interim government to uphold human rights and ensure the safety of citizens. The global community viewed Yunus's leadership as a critical opportunity for Bangladesh to rebuild its institutions and restore democratic norms. In this pivotal moment, Yunus's ascent as interim leader not only symbolizes hope for a unified Bangladesh, but also underscores the global demand for accountability and human rights in governance. The path ahead. Upon assuming leadership, Yunus faced the daunting task of restoring peace and order amid a chaotic political landscape. The early days of the interim government were marred by attacks against minority communities, particularly Ahmadis and Hindus, linked to their association with Hasina's party. Despite these challenges, Yunus emphasized the need for unity, urging the population to channel their grievances towards reform rather than revenge. Yunus recognized the lingering discontent among citizens, as many sought redress for past injustices under the previous regime. He emphasized the importance of addressing the grievances accumulated over 15 years, asking for patience as the government worked towards reform. In a world grappling with climate change and socioeconomic challenges, Yunus places immense faith in the youth of Bangladesh to guide the nation towards a brighter future. As he maneuvers through this interim phase, he aims to establish a government founded on transparency, accountability, and a dedication to social justice, aspiring to fulfill the dreams of those who have fought tirelessly for change. Muhammad Yunus's journey from the brink of imprisonment to leading Bangladesh exemplifies resilience and hope, showcasing the power of collective action in shaping a nation's future. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe for more inspiring content.